Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we're going to be talking about how to stay organized on your own when you're living alone. And then also some of the pros of being an organized person compared to being disorganized. So being an organized person takes a lot of work. Not going to lie. You have to, focus on getting yourself to do certain things, setting yourself habits, setting yourself goals and such. I'll get into a few things what you can do and some things that I do. And I would say basically waking up every day and getting out of bed is the first step to being organized in general. So if you can get up the first thing in the morning and go do your thing and do whatever you're meant to do during the day, I would say that's the first step of being organized. It's the first step of getting stuff done. And it's the first step to, being a better person overall, because being organized, it makes you a better person. So let's get right into it. So I would say some tips basically to help you stay organized in general would probably be first off to buy a planner. I would say, I had a friend of mine actually tell me, he said, you'll be less stressed and you'll know when you have things going on and know when you're available for things. So he bought me a planner he didn't buy me a planner. He showed me a planner on Amazon, and I ended up buying it on Amazon, and it was like $10 or something like that. And basically it has all the days of the week, and it also has a calendar view too. So having that written down, having it where I can carry it along everywhere, not just on a phone. When you stare at a screen, it can be stressful because you have to search through everything, find it. If you have that physical copy of the planner, and you put it say by your bed or by your computer or by your your work, wherever you mainly go each and every day, you'll have that aspect of having that plan for the day, and it'll help you to stay organized a lot easier and help you to plan out and set what you're going to do during the day. I would say that one of the second things I would do is probably clean and put things in the same spots that you usually do. Personally, I would, put my dishes away where my dishes go, and my paper plates where they go, and my cups where they go, and my computer stuff where my computer stuff goes, my electrical cords where my electrical cords go, my TV, stuff like DVD players or video game systems, or, your car, you got to park in the driveway at the right spot. So putting everything in the right spot makes a huge difference and gets rid of all the physical clutter. And it also puts me in another point, which is clear your physical space. So clearing your physical space is a little bit of the same of, putting stuff in the same spots all the time and being really organized with everything, because clearing your physical space means your eyes see less around you. And when your eyes see less around you, it's less stress overall. So if you're less stressed, you'll be able to get more things done, and you'll be able to not focus so much on the stress, but you'll focus more on your task at hand. And that really helps you. So having that clear physical space every once in a while, even if say you have a big messy area or something, set aside a time and clean up the area. Just take an hour, clean up your whole house if you need to. I know for me, sometimes it builds up over time, and then I get a bunch of clutter everywhere. And then I end up being you know what, I just got to get it all done. And then I spend a whole hour cleaning everything up and vacuuming and sweeping, mopping, everything, all the chores at once. Dishes, I shouldn't do that. I should focus more on, one thing at a time. I should focus on, okay, I take this out, I put it away right away. Otherwise, it builds up over time, and then you end up being stressed, and then, that happens. So, for the most part, I get stuff done. I'm pretty organized for the most part. There is times, though, when I do get a bunch of clutter built up over time, like I said, and then I got to do something about it, and then that's not fun. So I would say basically make sure you do it the first time right, and if you don't do it the first time right, then you'll have to do it later. So next thing I would want to say is focus on one thing at a time. Like I was saying before, you want to focus on the task at hand. If you focus on one thing at a time, one thing leads to another, to another, to another, to another. And once you do that step by step, it's a lot easier than taking a big pile and just throwing it all in your face and getting it all ready like that. So I would say, focus on that one thing at a time. Focus on that specific goal one thing at a time. And then basically you'll be able to, get more stuff done. You'll be more organized like as before, like I said, and then you'll be right off to the next spot. I would say the next thing to do is probably to write a to-do list and to set your goals. So you want to write a list. You want to set your goals. So for example, when I do a podcast, for example, I write down a big list here, like this is an example. And writing down my list, I could see exactly what I'm supposed to talk about and what I'm supposed to do. So basically it's not all up here, because when it's all up here, you get more stressed. And people that I interact with, they don't use like a planner. They don't write stuff down. They don't commit to certain things because they have it all up here. And when you have it all up here, it doesn't help. It makes you more stressed. You're like, I can't do it. Can't make it. Can't go there. I can't commit to that. Like, it makes you an overall flaky person, and you don't want to be that way. You want to, have yourself not stressed, not being like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. And if you have everything written down, you can write down, oh, I got to go to my dentist appointment at 3:30. Oh, I have to go to, my work at 8 a.m. Oh, I got to eat lunch at noon. Like, when you write down some stuff like that, you don't have to specifically write down for meals or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, for big events in your life, you want to write stuff down. You want to be organized. If you have like a meeting with a friend, for example, write down meeting with friend, 7 p.m. tonight for dinner. And then you'll have it written down. And then when you like look around, you see this list that's near wherever your area where you look at all the time. You'll say, oh, I got to be there at 7 p.m. tonight. You'll be right on time. You'll be able to organize yourself. You can even put steps even beforehand. Get ready at 6:30. Drive there at 6:40. Get there 10 minutes early. Like, you could add a whole bunch of different stuff if you want to. But you don't really have to. You can. It definitely helps. But overall, I would say basically you want to put yourself in a position where it's going to be the easiest as possible to make it from A to B to C to D to E to F to G, and so on and so forth. Because when you go through those steps, step by step, you're not focused on your mind. You're not focused on everything that's going on in your head. You're focused on that specific task. For example, I made for myself, I made a list of like chores I had to do. And, like I said, I shouldn't have let them build up, but it made it a lot easier because I put, okay, I'm going to work on my podcast at this time. Okay, I'm going to do my dishes. Okay, I'm going to sweep the floor. Okay, I'm going to mop the floor. I'm going to vacuum. I'm going to clean the bathroom. Like I made a list of each of those things, and I put a time next to them and said, okay, I should have this done by this time. And if I have it done by this time on these time frames, it helps me if I get them done early. Then I'm like, oh, I could just move on to the next thing and get it done early. And then I can sit down and relax. So that's another thing about that is if you get stuff done early, makes it a lot easier too, because you're just like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to stress. So I would say having that to-do list and setting your goals is really important, and I would definitely do it by taking it one step at a time. Another thing I would say, like probably the last tip I'll give as far as organization is eliminating paper and like digitizing documents. So if you have a bunch of like tax forms, or you have a bunch of mail, or you have a bunch of like, stuff that you like receipts or something like that, take pictures of them and put it on something that's not going to be like too destructive. Like put it on a flash drive, like that way you don't have to leave it on a computer and be scared of risk of somebody taking it or something. Like put these documents in somewhere that, it's going to be in a digital spot. You could put it on a hard drive if you want, like one of those portable hard drives. Buy up a hard drive. You can get them for like $40-$50 for like a really cheap one. Like solid state's going to cost more, but you can buy like a traditional external hard drive really cheap nowadays. So I would definitely recommend that. That way you don't have to worry about, having a bunch of pieces of paper lying around everywhere and being like, oh gosh, like all this paper. And then you got to like, worry about someone stealing it, or worry about like it getting in your trash, stuff like that. So I would say if any way you can do is, digitize your documents, that'll be your best thing you can do to, eliminate a lot of the paper and clutter that you have And that leads to another thing like cleaning. You want to clean your house, you want to clean all that clutter away, and that helps you be organized overall. Now I'm going to go into, some of the negatives first, like of being disorganized. And this is like a list that I kind of came up with and looked at, and I just, wanted to point these out because they're very important, and I'll go into the pros of being very organized after this. So I'll say the first thing of being disorganized is you tend to be more impulsive. You tend to be like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to make a quick decision. I got to make time for this and make time for that. But, I can't make it to this appointment. Like, you become more flaky, like I said before. You also tend to be more late all the time because of this. You're more likely to show up at somebody's house or appointment late because you didn't set up the stuff ahead of time and you said, I didn't have time to do it. Well, that's the biggest excuse I could say is when people say, I don't have time for that, it's an excuse to say, I don't want to do that right now. That's what saying I don't have time for that means. Because in our days, we do all kinds of different things. There's times when we're busy during a few hours of the day, or we're working through 8 hours in a day. But I can tell you this, when you get off work, you're not busy from work until bed. Okay? You get home, maybe if you go to an event at night, you still have 30 minutes to do something. You still have 15 minutes to do something. You're not busy every single second of the day. I don't, a lot of people say, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. Like, that's not true. And it'll make you more impulsive and it'll make you more likely to think that way too if you're disorganized. So it'll more likely to keep you, unaware of what's going on also because you're going to be so distracted of, being disorganized. And then also it's going to push you to more unpreparedness and be able to be ready for when something happens, like what happens if something an emergency or something like that. And it wastes a lot of time doing all these things and getting your thoughts out in your head and everything like that. And it just messes with you. So overall, being a disorganized person is very bad. And, it's not like horrible, but it's detrimental to your mental health, your physical health, because you're not able to, keep friendships, keep appointments, important things in your life. And, you want to be a very timely person, and you want to be very organized overall because that makes you a more complete person. It makes you build more character. It makes you, get things done and have more discipline. And these are the positive things I'm talking about now. And you're more likely to be, focused and less stressed, and you're more likely to be prepared. Say like an emergency came up or something like that, and you're able to plan ahead. There's so many positives to this. Keeping a good routine, keeping a good bedtime, like all those things make you more, healthy. They make you more organized. They make you more prompt. There's so much positives to, being organized. And of course, nobody's perfect. You're going to have days where you're disorganized. You're not thinking the right way. You're not doing the right things. It takes a lot of time, to build these habits. And I have a few other videos too about building habits and being able to like communicate and being able to, focus on other stuff. But this video is more so on like being organized. And I would say overall, being organized is probably one of the top things to be, being organized, being communicative, being prompt with things on time. All these different things all play into who you are as a person. They build character. They, make you more disciplined, and, you're more prepared overall as a person, and you're more to be a person that's looked upon and more, makes you look more of the positive light and a leader. So you want to be organized in that overall scope of things, and you want to be the best person you can be. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and hopefully you got something out of how to stay organized. And if you can like and subscribe, that would be great. And if you could share this video, that would be great too. So I guess I'll see you next week, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.